I'm torn between the torns.
Ginger Runner.
What is up, everybody? Ethan Newberry, the Ginger Runner, here for another Ginger Runner review. Today I'm pretty excited because I get to review some pretty awesome shoes from Altra Running. The new Torin 4.0s. Yes, that's plural because there's two of them. The regular and the plush. First, let's go back a little bit. The Torin 3.5 was one of my favorite Torins to date. If you remember my review of this shoe, I had a lot of really good things to say about it and only a couple of flaws. The primary flaw was that I had to choose between two of them, the mesh or the knit upper Torins. I chose the mesh. Well, Altra went ahead and decided to make two more versions of the Altra Torin, the 4.0 regular and plush, and I gotta say, it just made things more difficult. I'll start by trying to break down the differences between the two. The plush has 2mm more midsole along the strobel board, has a nice knit upper, has a bit more weight than the regular version, while the regular version actually has a lot of what made the 3.5 so great, with a reduction in weight, that same gusseted tongue and midfoot fit, a lighter mesh upper, and all the goods. Both of these shoes feature Altra's new Quantic midsole material, which I'm actually a bit of a fan of, and have that same soft, responsive ride that we've come to learn and love in the Altra Torins. So everything seems good. You possibly have a race version and a trainer version. But is the new Torin 4.0 the new Altra King? Not that one. Or does it suffer from the similar issues of the previous model? In this review, as always, I will break down what I like and dislike about the new Altra Torin 4.0, and I will make a determination of which of the two I prefer. It's what I do, as always. Let's start with things that I like. Midsole. So this new Quantic midsole, it's actually pretty nice. It's very similar to the A-bound of previous generations, but I'm getting a bit more resiliency out of it. I mean, even when I run in these two shoes side by side, the 4 and the 3.5, it's really difficult to tell the difference between the two. I mean, the uppers are incredibly similar, the fit and finish are very similar, but I will give the edge to the Quantic midsole because it does feel a bit softer and responsive despite roughly the same mileage in the shoes. I think it'll last a bit longer, so that to me gives the edge to the Quantic midsole. Then you go and add 2mm additional Quantic to the plush version, and that makes my feet happy. It's really good for long runs, keeps things super comfortable, and it's holding up quite well. Durability. Now, this is not always the case with Altra shoes. I found that some shoes just break down prematurely. From road and off-road sessions, both shoes are holding up quite well. One thing that I'd like to show is that the new outsole actually features a bit more outsole rubber, which is really good for durability compared to the 3.5s. And the fact that these actually lost about a ½ ounce of weight despite having more outsole, that's a good thing. Helps durability, helps with weight loss. And finally, midfoot fit. So one thing I really liked about the 3.5 was the webbing material that connects the laces to the actual base of the shoe. It allowed for a real proper midfoot fit, allowing you to really lock down your foot to the platform. What's nice about the new Altra Torin 4.0 in both versions is that they both feature that webbing material, allowing for a great midfoot fit across both the regular and plush versions. As with the previous version, they're not a perfect fit, as I'll get to in just a second, but overall, I'm happy with the midfoot and forefoot fit of both Torin 4.0 regular and plush. As always, it's not always donut binges and tickle fest. There are a couple of things that I dislike about the Altra Torin 4.0s, and let's get to those now. Why two? So, same problem I had with the 3.5, two versions ends up confusing consumers. I am one of those that's a bit confused as to why they have two different versions so similar yet different. You have your regular version, which keeps all the great things about the 3.5, but then you have this plush version that has 2mm more stack height. Why not just take that 2mm of extra stack height and stick it in the regular version, and all of a sudden you have what I would call one of the best Torins ever. That extra plush feels just right. The upper on the regular version feels better. It's lighter, more nimble, more comfortable. By having two versions, I just get confused. And in fact, I don't think we have two versions of the Torin here. I think we have a Torin and a Morin. I would like to apologize for that. Give us that 28mm of stack height in the regular version of the Torin. Get rid of the two versions. Keep your Paradigm, keep your Torin, keep your Escalante. Everyone's happy? Heel fit. So I know that I mentioned that the fit across the midfoot and forefoot is still solidly great. That's true. The problem again is in the heel. And this is something I feel like I've said in every single review of an Altra shoe. I just have a problem locking down the heel. Even by changing up the lacing system to give you that heel lock, it just doesn't do it. I still really haven't gotten a good heel lockdown in any of the Altras that I've tried. The new Torin is no exception. It feels like the second you add any sort of lateral movement, whether it's coming around a sharp turn, any sort of off-camber road surface, your foot wants to go one way, but your ankle wants to go to Europe. This thick, wide heel collar and ankle opening just doesn't lend itself to a real proper fit. You're lucky to have such a good midfoot fit, otherwise your foot would be sliding out of this thing on the regular. And finally, laces. Why are you so long. The laces in the Torin are ridiculously long. It's almost like you get an additional 6 inches on both ends. It just makes for a messy tie down. I find myself having to tuck the laces into the laces, which kind of works. The laces on the regular are super thin. They feel really fragile compared to the woven laces on the plush version. I much prefer the laces from the 3.5. I know that's a real nitpicky like and dislike, but to be honest, whenever you're lacing up your shoes, you're gonna really hate lacing up the regulars. That being said, that's it for my dislikes with the new Torin 4.0. In conclusion, the Torin 4.0 is my favorite Torin yet. I love it for long runs, especially on road and hard surfaces. It's a solid choice if you're looking to run a marathon or a half marathon. You need something that has a little bit of extra cushioning or something that kind of wants to go faster. As far as which of the two I would prefer, the regular version. You save 20 bucks, it's lighter, it's holding up really well, and it will do better in warmer temperatures. That to me makes the regular the winner. I would love it if they just took those 2 millimeters of extra cushion, took out the plush entirely, popped it into the regular version, and gave that to us as the Torin. It seems so simple, so why complicate things? Let's get a bit more specific. Build quality, still a solid build. It holds up really well like the 3.5. The new Quantic midsole is a great choice. I think it's holding up just a bit better than the previous. However, the lacing and the materials in the lacing need some work. Comfort, it's one of the comfier road shoes that I've worn. I still really like grabbing it, especially if I have a long run that might require more flat or road-like surfaces. And unlike some other big cushion shoes out there, it's not cumbersome at all, especially the regular version, which is going to be great for training or long runs or races. Fit, midfoot, great. Forefoot, great. Ankle, not so much. It's the same as pretty much every Ultra that I review. Price, $139 for the plush version, $119 for the regular version. Guess which one I'm gonna lean towards. Save yourself 20 bucks, lose 2 millimeters a stack. You're not gonna notice it if you just get the regular version. I just wish, this was in there. And finally, looks. I'm not really a fan of either. I do remember liking the 3.5. I think it's a better looking Torin than the 2 new versions. So while looks is completely subjective, I'm just not a fan of the 4.0's looks. Which brings us to our final criteria. Is the new Torin 4.0 a buy, try, or a why? I'm just gonna remove the plush from this equation and consider the regular a full-on try. If you have not tried the new Torins, whether it's the 3.5 or the 4, this new 4 regular is definitely the way to go. If you can find the 3.5 in your size, I would even go as far as to say to grab those, because they're probably on sale for $40 less than what you would get the regular for. As with all of my reviews, if you have any questions or want to find out more information about either of the Torins, regular or plush, I have links in the description that'll take you to Running Warehouse, which is an affiliate link. Cost you nothing, it helps the channel. Consider it if you have not already. And that brings me to my question of the day. Have you run in the new Torins or any of the previous Torins? What have you thought? In the comments of this video, let us know. Let's get that conversation going. And that, my friends, is it for today's review. I hope you liked it. If you did, make sure you like, favorite, and subscribe to this channel. We have a new film coming very soon about Tiger Claw. I dropped a film last week with our trip up to Bandera Mountain. Go check that one out. Summer is just around the corner. We have a lot of video ideas up our sleeve. You're not gonna wanna miss out. So be sure to follow us across social media. It'll give you a good idea of what to expect, what to get excited for. All of the links and stuff will be posted to those social media sites. And of course, if you wanna help this channel keep the lights on and the mics hot, patreon.com/thegingerrunner. For as little as $1 a month, you get access to a whole bunch of behind the scenes stuff. Become a producer for all the content here, the whole smorgasbord. And that is pretty much everything. Thank you guys so much for the support. Get out there, train hard, race harder, and party the hardest. I know I am. We'll see you guys next week for some more videos. Okay, bye-bye.